Hi guys, welcome back to my math channel, Math in Minutes. So today we're going to be starting a new lesson called Fantastic Integers. So this is basically like your official field guide to the numbers below zero. So what are integers? The definition for integers are all whole numbers and their opposites. So this doesn't include any fractions or decimals and just whole numbers. So in this case, we have a number line here, and we can consider 0 as the starting point or as the middle ground, since it's considered to be neither positive or negative. These are the positive integers that are listed in green, and these are just the regular counting numbers, which are like 1, 2, and 3. These are also considered to be greater than 0, and we will find out why. And this is the negative numbers. This is in the negative direction, and these are numbers that are less than 0. So some examples of integers being used in real life is the temperature. So for example, we have -5 degrees Celsius, which means it's freezing cold. And above 0 is positive and below 0 is negative. For example, we also have buildings as well. There are also like ground floors that are above and below ground level. And last, this is the most common example, is sea level. The sea level in this case is 0, and the altitude is above 0, which is 30,000 feet, and this is -500 feet below the sea level. We also have the money here. For example, if you owe a friend $10, that is -$10 from your bank account because you're giving them $10, and you're also losing $10 as well. We also have sports as well. So for example, a penalty pushes you back -5 yards. We also have the navigation rule of which one is bigger. So in this case, the right side of the number line is considered greater. So the numbers that are on the right side are greater than 0. For example, 1 is greater than 0 because it's on the right side. And the left side is considered to be the smaller part. So this is the left side, and the numbers that are on the left side are less than 0 because they're farther away from 0. So the more it's farther away from 0, the smaller it gets, and the farther away it's 0 from here is larger. So for example, if we have 5 is greater than 2, which is obvious, we have 5 is here and 2 is here. And 5 is greater because it's more farther away from 0 than 2. Another example here is -1 is greater than -5. Now, this is the only case where -1 is actually greater than -5 because -1 is closer to 0 and -5 is farther away from 0 on the left side. So we also have another thing called absolute value, which is used in distance. And one thing you always have to remember is that distance will always be positive and it can never be negative. So the absolute value is the distance from 0. So since you can't walk in a negative distance, the result will always be positive. So for example, you're standing on the starting point here, which is 0. And on the right side, you have 5 units. You're 5 units away from 0. And on the left side, you're also 5 units away from 0 because you can't be -5 units away from 0 since the distance will never be negative. So if we have addition here, this is pretty easy. It's 3 plus 2 equals 5. And we have a number line here, so we'll take 2 hops and we will get to 5. Similarly, if we have 3 plus -2 equals to 1, we can just rewrite this as 3 minus 2 equals to 1. And we're just taking 2 hops here, and then we'll get to 1. If we have -3 plus 2 equals to -1, then we'll just take 2 steps back, and then we'll get to -1. If we have -3 plus -2 equals to -5, we'll just take 2 steps more to the left, and we'll get to -5. So this is a tug-of-war strategy. So when you're adding integers with different signs, if they're the same signs, they pull together and you add them. If they're different signs, then it's considered as a battle, then you're subtracting them. So if we have this battle report here, which is 7 plus -5 equals to 2, the positive side has 7 players, and the -5 has 5 players. And then the team positive will win by 2 because we're doing 7 plus -5 equals to 2, which is also equal to 7 minus 5 equals to 2. If we have another battle report, which is -9 plus 4 equals to -5, team negative has 9 players and team positive has 4 players, then team negative will win by 5 because -9 plus 4 is -5. So if we are unlocking subtraction here, we keep, change, and change. So don't subtract. You have to use a secret code to turn it into addition. So for example, if we have 5 minus -2, you will only change the sign of the second one. The first one will always stay the same. So the negative and this negative and this negative will add together, and this will become positive, which will be 5 plus 2, and we will get 7. So this is subtraction in action. If we have 5 minus 2 or 5 plus 2, we can write 5 plus -2 equals 3, which is just 5 minus 2 equals 3. If we have 5 minus -2, as we just saw, it would be 5 plus 2 equals 7. So if we're subtracting a negative, it's like we're adding a positive. If we have -5 plus -2, then we can just write it as this, -5 plus -2, and this will give us -7. If we have -5 plus 2, then we can just rewrite it as this, and we'll get -3. So the golden rules of signs for multiplication and division are, if you multiply two positive numbers, then you will get a positive number, obviously. And if you multiply two negative numbers, they will also be positive. If they're different signs, we'll get positive times negative equals negative, and negative times positive is negative. These also apply for division as well. If we have positive divided by positive, then we'll get positive. Negative divided by negative is positive. Positive divided by negative and negative divided by positive are both negative. So this is the pattern recognition here, and we're testing the rules in this case. If we have 4 times 3 is 12, then this is positive times positive equals positive. We also have -4 times -3. This will also give us 12 because negative times negative is positive. If we have 4 times -3 here, we'll get -12 because positive times negative is negative. And if we have -4 times 3, we'll have -12 again because negative times positive is negative. The same thing also applies for division here. If we have 10 divided by 5, it's 2 because positive divided by positive is 2. And if we have -10 divided by -5, it's 2 because due to the same reason that we have in multiplication. The same thing also happens here. If we have 10 divided by -5, it's -2. Similarly for these two reasons that we had in multiplication. And if we have -10 divided by 5, it's -2 because negative divided by positive is negative. So this is the Explorer's backpack, and this is considered as the cheat sheet. So if we have the comparison, the right side is always greater than the left. So if we have 5 here and 10, 10 will be greater than 5 because 10 is on the farther right side than 5. And in addition, if you have the same signs, you add them. And if you have different signs, then you subtract, and then I think you switch too. In subtraction, you will use the KCC method, which is keep, change, signs, and change. So then use the addition rules once you've done these 3 steps. And then the multiplication and division, these are the golden rules. The same signs is positive and different signs are negative. Congratulations, you completed your mission. And that's it for today. Bye!